Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are, Mr. Guru.
Okay, sir. Uh, Good afternoon, everyone. In the name of God, I would like to start today's session. Greetings from Population Research Center, Former Christian College University. My name is Sajid Nasir, and I'm a research assistant at PRC. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you on this webinar. Thank you for joining us today. For starting the session, I would like to explain some of the netiquettes for the webinar. Please mention your department's name, your institution name, and your full name on your Zoom profiles. And students are requested to mention their roll numbers on their Zoom profiles. All the participants except host and co-host shall remain muted throughout the session and will only be allowed to speak in Q&A session upon their request. For questions, please raise your hands or leave a question in the comment section. Thank you. Now I would like to invite Dr. Vikas Ali, Director PRC, to welcome our chief guest, Sir Sajid Rasul. Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Vikas.
Good afternoon. Welcome to everyone. My name is Mohammed Vikas Ali. I am the Director of the Population Research Center. Dear guests, as a social scientist working in Pakistan, I guess we are all aware of the problem of lack of data. We are all aware that not enough data is collected in Pakistan. I think the norm with social scientists is that you get your own funding and you collect your own data. It's almost become a norm within my community. But I think after meeting people like Isaac Shahzad Saab and Chaudhry Sajid Rasul Saab, who both work for the Punjab Bureau of Statistics, it has really changed my way of thinking, because now I think the right person is not what data is not available. The right person is how can we use the data that already is there, which we don't use because we are not aware of those data sets. And from the chats that I have had with both of these guests, I have gotten to know that these data sets are collected very rigorously. These are very reliable data sets, and they are hardly used by social scientists. So secondary data analysis is really a line from which Pakistani social scientists are really not very acquainted with and are not leveraging as much as they should be. In this spirit, I have the honor of introducing today's guest. Our guest, Chaudhry Sajid Rasul, is the Director General of Punjab Bureau of Statistics. Chaudhry Sajid Rasul is currently serving as Director General, Bureau of Statistics, Government of Punjab Planning and Development Board, Lahore. He joined Bureau of Statistics Punjab as a Deputy Director in 2003. He is currently doing PhD in Statistics from the University of the Punjab. He has also provided his services in Ayub Agricultural Research Institute in Faisalabad. As Director General of Bureau of Statistics of Punjab, Chaudhry Sajid Rasul Saab has been invited as guest speakers in various government and non-government institutions, and he has always been very kind in sharing the knowledge and awareness which he brings from his department with other institutions. As the Director General of the Bureau of Statistics Punjab, he has participated in various international trainings, particularly on official statistics, survey design, developing equity profiles, and data analysis and its interpretation. He has also a number of publications which can be found on Google Scholar or his LinkedIn page. Without further ado, I will invite Chaudhry Sajid Rasul to give us his presentation titled An Introduction to Datasets Made Available by the Punjab Bureau of Statistics for Secondary Data Analysis. Welcome, sir, and please, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Vasa. I am once again very grateful and feeling very glad to be with you, particularly with the students of the FC College University. And I'm really very thankful to the Population Research Center of the FC College University, and who make all these arrangements. And definitely, it's a very I think that would be the very nice experience, particularly for all those researchers who would like to start their research, and definitely they are feeling that what type of the areas that they would like to select and whether the data is available or not. So I think I am also very thankful to the once again to all the faculty members of the sociology and the other departments, statistics as well. So today, without any further, I think we are wasting our time. I will start my presentation today. I will share definitely about the data sets, what we are particularly producing within the premises of the province, and definitely are available data sets for all the data users, particularly for the students. And not only we are providing the micro data sets, but also provide the supports to making some understanding of the students, that how the data is captured, how what are the objectives and what are the main variables, and how it when to all these variable to interpret. So all these are the actually exercise, and definitely sports is available within the bureau sections on the request. We will definitely fix up some experts or some officer from the bureau and provide the sports to the students as well. Next, please. Today, I would like to definitely share some information about the bureau statistics and different data sets what are available within the bureau, and some brief description of the sampling, which probably definitely there are some students who would like to start to collect the information from the primary sources. Definitely, the major hurdle and the major point that how the our representative sample will be selected and what are the main and the important aspects that would be keep in mind while doing all these exercises. Then the quality assurance, what are the principles that are in our practices and we are doing, and this is the reason that we are feel some comfortable to share the very valuable and definitely credible data sets to the users, and the users also provide some confidence on the quality of the statistics what are the being produced by the Bureau of Statistics Punjab. And there's some related to the mix. I think talk more than as we expect, because mix is a very important and very information which are very useful for the users particularly, and they are a very vast field of the social science social sectors of the society. And the more information is that we have previous rounds, and the time series data is also available with us. And this is very also important for the newly used data user or researchers to start the research by using the mixed data. And there is one example that how scanning data can be approach can be used by using the some mixed data, and that is also very important. Next, please. As Bureau Statistics, before going to the organization, there is a provincial statistical system in the province. Chairman P&D board is a competent and the Punjab provincial statistical authority nominated by the governor of the Punjab. And then there is head of the department, Bureau of Statistics, which is a previous statistical organization of the province, is a director general, and definitely all the executions of the activity of statistical activity within the province that are being conducted and with the formal and due approval of the statistical authority of the province. And there is a provincial statistical council. All the secretaries of the provincial departments are the members of these councils, and this council is the main function to approve the whole activities of the Bureau of Statistics for the calendar years. Next, please. Then there is a history of the how Bureau of Statistics was established. In 1950, there was only one office that is known as a Central Statistical Office that was established in 1950. Then after 7 years, There's a West Pakistan and East Pakistan was created, and after 13 years in 1970, West Pakistan was bifurcated into the provincial bureau, 4 provincial bureaus. It means Punjab Bureau of Statistics was also established in 1970, and after 3 years, it was declared as an attached department of the Planning and Development Department. Now it is the Planning and Development Board. So from the 73, we are executing and working as an attached department to the P&D board. Next, please. Next. These slides actually provide some information related to our regular activities and align with the data sets as well. One thing which is very important that as in the previous slide I shared that Punjab Bureau of Statistics is the premier statistical organization of the province, and the major function is to provide and to collect the information from the primary as well as the secondary sources, then tabulate and then edit the tabulation and dissemination to the users, and also try to meet all the requirements of the provincial as well as the federal governments, and particularly for decision making as well. So on the basis of their requirements, all these are the statistics that what we are producing on the regular basis in a calendar years with some specific reference periods. First is the daily price statistics. We are collecting on the daily basis about 75 kitchen items and also some baskets that was approved by the government of Punjab. And from the consumer basis, we are collecting the prices from all the divisional headquarters of the province, and then on the basis of their average price and the fluctuation, we are producing the weekly, fortnightly, and monthly reports for the authorities to monitor and observe the price fluctuation in the province. And so from the 1970, this exercise is carried out successfully. So I think if any user would like to use these statistics, these are the very rich time series data, and will be available with the Bureau of Statistics, and we can provide to any researchers for their further research. The next is the monthly survey of the industrial production of the employment in Punjab, which is also very important. On the monthly basis, we are collecting the information about there are about 2,000 industrial units. All these industrial units are actually belong to the large and medium the scale of the industries in the province. So on the there are 40 fixed items. Based on this, we are collecting the information on the monthly basis, and the monthly reports are available and provide the very important federal institution, State Bank of Pakistan, Federal Finance Ministry, and the Pakistan Bureau of Statistics. And these are the very important and important in such a way that in the particularly in the previous 3-4 years, on the base of these statistics, actually IMF and the other authorities, they are monitoring the production of the industry, and definitely it is a important and major aspect for the providing the loan facility to the country as well. Then there is a Punjab Agricultural Statistics. We are actually, this is a tri-party exercise in which we are collecting the information acreage of all the major minor crops of the province, including all some vegetable fruits from the Rabi as well as the Kharif seasons, with the support of the land revenue departments, and also on the base of the acreage. Then crop producing services is a very specific organization of the agriculture that provide the yield of the major crops at the district level based on the sample, actually sample information. So then the production, yield, and acreage will be provided to the Pakistan Bureau of Statistics with the due approval of the Punjab Agricultural Research. So these statistics also available since 1970 and is very useful for the any researchers. Then the land utilization also provide very important. Annually, we are collecting for the whole the province by district as well. Then area production of the major minor crops is also part of the Punjab agricultural statistics. And statistics of arts and science, it means we are also collecting the information for intermediate, degree, postgraduate, and other technical institutions within the province, including universities as well, and provide the information for students for each different study groups and that number of teachers and number of students. So all the informations are available by institution, by district, by tehsil. I think it is a 70 from the 73, 1973. All these statistics are also available for the students as well. Then the Punjab Health Statistics is also very informative. We are collecting directly on the annual basis from all the health institutions, public health institutions within the province, and provide the number of all the health responders, personals, and the number of patients, number of beds. So all these information are available. What we are providing the in our Punjab Health Statistics reports as well. Then Punjab Development Statistics is a annual. Our publications very prominent for all the users and provide very multi-type information for all the departments, because one is our objective to collect the information, collect the statistics from all the public institutions and departments, what they have and collecting within that departments. And we are collecting, editing, and developing the some tabulations, and then publishing for the other users as well. We are also starting the South Punjab Development Statistics since the last 2 years and provide successfully annual publication for the users as well. Next, please. Next.
Next slide, please, Mr. Zahid.
I think there is a problem for internet. So, please change the slide.
Yes, sir, we are on it.
Okay.
Next. Okay. Now, oh, sorry, sir. Previous one. Please show the slideshow. Next. Sit. Yes. Slideshow, please. Now I am going to share actually some important recently surveys what we are conducting by the Bureau of Statistics. First one is the multiple indicator clusters, as I also shared. But in the next slides, I will share more information in detail in two different slides. This survey actually is always conducted after 3.5 years gap period since the 2003-4, and we are providing up till now 5 rounds completed successfully, in which two rounds comprise of the tehsil based and 3 on the district based. Then there is a Punjab Child Labour Survey where it was completed in the last year, and which is very unique survey, and we conducted this by using the SIMPOC, which is the international methodology for calculating the child labor in over the globe. So this is a very comparative, provide the opportunity to compare these results with the other countries as well as the other provinces, and we have also completed. Reports are available, micro data set is available. And then Punjab Habitacy Prevalence Survey, it is also very important survey. We conducted on the demand of the government of Punjab, and in this survey actually provide the prevalence of the hepatitis based on the laboratory test. We also hired the one laboratory of the Lahore, which is Choktai lab, and provide the sports to collect the samples, blood samples of the sample. On the base of this, it provides a very realistic information for the hepatitis. And the Women's Economic and Social Wellbeing Survey that was completed in 1718. This is also very important information for the women empowerment. And also align this one, there are actually men's survey for the men's perception about the working women and the employees of the women and the minorities of the women. So all these are the part of this survey. They're very important and very unique survey that was completed. This Bureau Statistics with the support of the UNFPA and the Women Development Department. Possible serious bacterial infections, PSPI, we completed this survey, which is also very tough and hard survey, but was completed on the direction of the Supreme Court. But information was very important and is available for other users as well. Survey on the silicosis, and this survey was conducted on the direction of the Supreme Court, not possible serious bacterial infection. It is on the based on requirement of the UNICEF as well. So Punjab Health Survey that was conducted and completed in 2017. The last one is a Punjab home-based survey, worker surveys. That is also very important and very informative survey. Next, please. Next slide. Is it possible that you can provide the facility for changing all these slides to my computer? Am I audible? Please.
Yes, sir, you are. I think to be able to do that, you'll have to open the slide on your computer and then share your screen with us.
Okay. This is related to the actually information of the mix. Mix is, as already shared, it is a social sector survey and very important, and we are continuously producing this survey. This survey actually is important in such a way that credible information are available for the national as well as the international user are available, and the international desk of the UNICEF, which is the basic responsible of conducting these survey over the globe, provide the very recognition to authenticity of these survey, and all these 5 surveys are available on their international websites. So this survey has provided very broadly different areas of the social sectors, providing the access to electricity, literacy, exposure to the mass media, household with radio, TV, computer, internet, children's living arrangements, ownership of the assets, reproductive and maternal health, child health, nutrition and development, education, violence of exploitation, and safe and clean environment. So all these actually information that is very important to provide the reporting information to the SDG as well, because in the last survey what we have completed in 1970, that survey provide about 35 direct indicators that is related to the SDG as well. So this is very actually important for the authorities of the government as well, because it provides the information which are not available before for the SDG, but now it's these information are available. Next, please. Next. This is actually history of the previous 5 surveys. We started in 2003-4, and that was the based on the test district level and providing the 44 direct indicators. This was the first mix that was conducted by the Bureau of Statistics in Punjab, and but mix next second round we provide the 75 indicator that is actually 70% more than the previous one. And this survey is based on the sea level. That's why the household size of for this survey is 91,000 households. Sample is higher as compared to the district base, because here our domains, reporting domains are and the sample as well is the tehsils instead of the districts. The third round was also at the tehsil level that was conducted in 2011 and provided 100 indicators, which are the 33% higher as per previous one. And the total sample of household, more than 100,000 household in that survey. And then the next fourth round, mix 5, based on the mix 5 version of the tools that was conducted in 2014. It provides 125 direct indicators, and now the sample is 41 because our domain here are the districts instead of the test. The next round, last one that was completed in 2017-18, it was actually previous one, please. It provided the information of 211 indicated, that was 69% higher than the previous one. This actually shows that we are not providing the same thing what we are producing in the last round. We always try to increase the number of indicators by addressing some needs of our departments. And because this survey is the flagship program of the government of Punjab. So all the relevant departments, they are trying that these are the important indicators for the futures use and the monitoring for their different programs. They would like to get the information from, and we tried our best to include those variables and the indicators in our coming. Because nowadays we are also start to planning of the next sixth round, that is again based on the district level. And now this is a time that we are starting the communication and discussion with all the stakeholder departments for seeking their needs of the future as well. Next, please. Now, this is another census of manufacturing industry, which is also provide very important information of the industrial sectors. This census was conducted after every 5 years with the support of other departments in the province and also Pakistan Bureau of Statistics. It is very unique type of the census that by using this time series data, you can also use the panel type of the methodology for getting different type of the information from these data sets. It provides the information based on related to the particular of the establishments, organization of the establishments, enterprise, ownerships, employment, taxes on products, input output during the year, fixed assets, infrastructure, and environment. All these actually information provide the value addition, and on these value addition, Pakistan Bureau of Statistics is in the position to provide the real national accounts figures from the particular industry sector as well. Next, please. इधर से आ गए हमारे पास next please. I think अगर आप हमें ये दे देते ना फैसिलिटी तो इधर से ऑपरेट करना इट्स will be more convenient.
Sir Isaac, you can share the screen now from your side, please. Thank you.
Yes, I think screen has been shared. Everybody can see the presentation.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for providing support. Next is actually just it is a some sharing the information that we are also developing a database named as a Punjab Info that provides information on all different type of the surveys what I shared in the previous slide that was also is the part of this and some other our regular activities as well. So with the support of the UNICEF, we developed this database, and it is very facilitated to all the users because with the 3-4 clicks you can get the time series comparisons and maps, graphs, and some indices as well. So I think you if any layman type which has not a good information related to the data would like to get some information related to the different indicators and the time series. This database is very convenient for him to use and get the information as well. Now, in the next slides, I would like to share some information how the sampling process was done for particularly in I use the case of the multiple indicator cluster survey, which is based on the international protocols and the standards and all the aspects are well tested. So this is very important for particularly for the students and the other users as well, that how any type of the survey which is we can plan on the based on the household level, how we can plan. But which is here one thing which is very important that sampling is not only based on the subjective knowledge. It is more than actually fun and definitely based on the experiences and the different information of the ground realities. So, because we can use the number and figures in any formula and can get the number of the sample, but if you have more than domains and their features and that their are very different, particularly as you know that in our 36 districts, if there's a domain and if we are going to Tehsil, then maybe there are 150 domains in the Punjab. So every Tehsil, every district has a different biological, different geographical, different economical, and different other variables and the different values of different all these scenarios. So keeping in mind that the sample for each domain should be the statistically representative. So all these information should keep in you consider should be considered that well when we are going to calculate the sample for your study as well. As for the sample design, there are three actually different traits that we have to consider. Number one is sample size, no doubt, which is a very numerical number that will be used for the analysis purpose and provide some estimates. And the sample structure, how these units are to be selected, which is very important. And next one is the estimation procedures, how the results from the sample are to be used to draw inference, because it is the major objective for any conducting the sample-based survey about the entire population of interest from which the sample was selected. Next is the importance of the correct sample design, because sample size and structure affect validity of the inference about the entire population. Because size is also very important, and the other thing, how these number have to be select from our population, what are the stages and which methodology at each stage will be the appropriate. The other thing is for the magnitude of the sampling and non-sampling errors, which are the very important, because are these numbers and the values will provide the authenticity and reliability to your statistics as well. There are three major steps in our sample designing and the sample estimation. First is to define the objectives, and then second, identify a suitable pre-existing sample frame, and then the last one, determine sample size and allocation. First one is the define survey objectives. It means what are the key indicators, because some indicators are more have a more impact on the society, and the low response, and the some has the high response. So all these are things have to consider before going to calculate the sample. Then these the reporting domains, because for each domain for which we have to report and which have to provide the sample, the indicators for the users, that is very important. So for each domain, we have to calculate the different independently sample. If we have 34 districts, there are 34 districts, so we have to use the 34 domains. And if we are going to calculate, use the tehsil level, then there are possible 150 domains in the province. So we have to calculate 150 sample numbers, and then we add up for the whole province as well. And the level, desired level of the precision of the for the service, because precision is a very directly quality impact on the quality. So we have to decide, and definitely before when we are going to decide the precision level, so one thing which is very important that we have also to consider the sources and the budget as well, which is a direct impact. And determination of the sample size depends on the survey objectives. So what are the survey objectives? Because at the end, this is our unique deliverable, that all these are the objectives on the base of which we have to plan the activities, and at the end we are going to produce these results which are directly supportive to our objectives as well. The second, I think, aspect is the sampling frame, because it is also very important that whether you have a very updated sampling frame, and most that based on the most recent census of the population, the housing, and master sample if we have, but in Pakistan there is no master sample of the sample frame. We are always using frame based on the population and the housing census. You know that in the last census was conducted in 2017, and current is also going to plan and going to process, but there's some delay. Next, please. The next third one is the determination of the sample size and allocation. Survey objectives that they also provide the information about the key indicators, and then desired level of the precision and need for sub-national results. And the next one is sampling parameters from previous mix, which is also very important, because based on the previous results and the some prevalence of the key indicators, we always use the previous mix that was conducted by the within the province as well. And then response rates, design effects, that is also based on the previous surveys, mixed surveys. Survey budget and resources constraints, all these are also very important while conducting. Whether you have a large sample, definitely you have to bear a large budgets and the other resources as well, and including HR and the other infrastructures. If you have a small sample, then definitely it directly impact on these variables as well. Then the distribution of the target population. It is also very important, that provide the allocation, how we can first stage, second stage. In our mix, there are two stages. Two-stage stratified sample design is preferred and used for the mix. At the first stage, we are going to calculate the number of blocks or enumeration blocks that comprised on the 200 to 250 households with the specific boundaries. And these are the same blocks that were calculated and comprised during the population census. And then on the second stage, on the first stage, when we are collect the sample blocks, then for within the each sample block, we conduct a house listing activity in which we develop a list of all the structures, dwelling and non-dwelling units of that sample enumeration block, and that is based and used for the sample units for the SSU, known as the secondary sample units, for the second stage as well. So there are key principles in the sampling. First one is the probability sample design. It is very important if you are going to estimate and make the inference for the population, then the probability sample design will be preferred and definitely essential. Sampling in 2 or 3 stages. In Pakistan, we are using two-stage stratified. Then first one, at the first stage, we use the simple random sampling for collecting selection for the selection of the enumeration block, whereas for the second stage, where we are going to select the household from the sample block, we use the systematic with the random start. So this is the techniques what we are using for the allocation of the sample and the target population. Then separate, already I shared that the separate household listing we conducted for the second sampling of the second stage. Then cluster, as already shared that from each cluster, we actually interviewed and select the 20 household for each block, sample block. 20 household is sufficient. In this way, we, actually our sample is spread out on the more population as compared if we use the more than 20 households. So 20 is acceptable. That's why we use the 20 household for each sample block. Then there is also very strict condition of the no placement of the sample primary sampling unit or household, because in this way we change the replacement of the sample PSU or SSU, then our sampling error will be increased. So we try our best that we will remain stick on the sample household and never try to replace them. Whatever, so if a household refuse, we accept it. If household could not find, destroyed or some other thing or locked permanently, even then we are accepted. But all these efforts we are making very hard. This is the reason that our response rate never comes down to 96, 95%. Always higher than 95% of the whole samples. Then the proper sampling weights, which is also very essential part, because our sample design based on the probability. So we use the sampling weights to extrapolate our survey results to the population, and used in all analysis to prevent biased results. This is also very helpful to reduce the biasness, and calculations depend on the exact sample design, weights, household. We use actually 5 types of the weights. Household based, women, men, and children. All these are the actually different water quality as well for calculation and making the variables indicators for all the different sectors as well. Then the sample errors calculation also we are completed. All the surveys will provide the sampling errors, because these are the statistically quality tables that provides the information to the technical user for getting how these variables which are presented at the domain are the credible, are the reliable, because these are the only statistics that provide the comfortable level to the users that their confidence interval is also available, some errors are also available, and the design effects are also available that provide some comfortable zone to the user that these statistics are very credible and can be used for any decision making as well. So, one thing also very important that what we are doing any step during the planning, executing of this survey, we develop a complete documentation of all the process. But for the sample, it is very important to develop the sample, and we also all provide the information, all these documentation, and share with the international desk of the UNICEF that provide the feedback on different stages of our surveys, which is very, I think, credible for us. Now, this is the last side of the sample. This is the formula on the high side, what I am going to share with all the users. N is the number of units or number of samples that we have to calculate and find. This is the household base 4 multiplied by R into 1 minus R. Def is a design effect. I also provide the information on all these variables on the slides. Then the RME into R square, then probability, average size of the household, and the response rate as well. So N is already shared. 4 is actually factored to achieve the 95% level of confidence score. Actually, it is a Z square, and at the 95% Z score, you know that it is 95%, it is about 4. So then R is the predicted and estimated value of the indicated in target population. F is the design effect, because every probability sample design has the design effect with relevant to the random sample. Then response rate is definitely double R is the response rate, and we use the response rate of the previous mix survey. Probability is the proportion of the target population subpopulation in total population. So here we use actually our very small population of children under 5, because it is a very conscious about this type of the target population. So for the mix, we use the key variable of the related to the small children of the nutrition level, and also use the target population of the under 5. Average size in the average household size, that is the average number of persons per households. Then there is actually relative margin of error, which is a RME at the 95% level of confidence. If we use the target, currently the target for the relative margin of errors is generally 12%, but we are using in all the previous survey. So the margin of error E is equal to 0.12R. So these are the actually some variables, and we use put all these values in the formula and get the number. But after getting the number, as I already shared, that it is not based on the information what we have and we use, and definitely what is the number we use. But for each domain, we have to make some adjustment based on their different variables and the different experiences what we have. So the next one is the quality assurance. There are 10 dimensions. So I think, Kasav, how much time I have?
Sir, you have around 6 minutes.
Okay, sir.
Before 4 o'clock. Yes.
I will complete, and I think within 2 slides. There are 10 dimensions. Definitely, these are the very important to share that during the executing and the planning any survey, we are using all these international standards and protocols relevance. We also try to make the meeting with the consultant workshops with the different user to get their requirement that provide the relevance of the survey, validity. 5 surveys We also provide the different trainings and also manuals. Manuals actually provide us some information that is in black and white and provide the information, all the important concepts and some other terms as well. So that will provide the same concepts to all our enumerators through across the board. And then the professionalism, training of the trainers, we conducted 2 weeks, and the training of the field staff, that what we are going to deploy for data collection, that comprise on the 4 weeks. There are a number of tests and the other hands-on practices that actually enables to all the enumerators to get the right information and the right concepts about before data collection. Enhance the interviewing quality by providing the induction of the observer and the back checking and the other monitoring some aspects as well. Then there's access to the data quality, data collection. We are using actually CAPI. It means computer assisted personal interview machines. We are not using the papers since the last 4-5 years. And then there are the dashboards that provide the current information to all the authorities and the other planners as well. Then control survey errors by collecting, because we are using CAPI, and then after weekly we estimate the field check tables that provide some quality based variables, and in this way we will be in the position to get the information whether our teams, they are collecting the information on the standards and on the consistency level, and with the minimizing the errors as well. And then develop the consistency by using the international protocols of data processing, coherence, accuracy, recheck, syntax, data analysis, and timeliness, punctuality. With the use of the CAPI, we are very comfortable where within the due time we are always in the position to provide the results to our authorities as well. Then their dissemination and the workshop as well. Then usability of the mix in the promise, actually mix is very important at the public sector levels and provide the information for different documents and other reporting purpose as well. Formulation the Punjab Finance Commission Awards, and then used in the reporting to MDG before and now SDG, tracking all the KPIs of the Punjab. Evidence-based strategy and the policy formulation. Punjab growth strategy that was conducted in 18. Now latest one is the benchmark provided in 2023, and Punjab's special strategy 2017 post 18 amendments, and which will provide the different sectors information for making the policies, and development of the sectoral policies. Punjab district ranking, MPI and CMPI, and the multispectral nutrition strategy of Punjab. Then development of the appraisal of the reports, Punjab Economic Development Forum, economic reports, poverty, a number of all the other trades, planning trades and the program trades, and the last one is the research as well. Number of researchers, MPhil on the PhD and MPhil, they are using all these data sets for making the research for their institution requirement as well. So I think these are the secondary analysis approach which I will I think I tried that maybe it's not important for you because you are all the users as well, but I will skip here, and all these are the slides. Also, I think the presentation is present with the Wakasab, so any users who like to get the information more in detail, he can discuss with us, or they can also my presentation is available for his use. Now the host is open for any question answer. Thank you for all the users, for all the participants who no doubt spare time and hear me for the last 55 minutes. I'm really grateful for all of you. Now house is open. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your presentation. Now we would like to move forward towards the Q&A session. Participants are welcome to ask any questions. If you have any questions, please leave your questions in the chat box, or you can also raise your hands so we can answer one by one. Thank you.
I have a question, sir. In the last 2-3 years, has there any data related to corona or the impact of corona been collected by your department or the Punjab government in general?
Because of our COVID and Corona, definitely, because all these information were collected at the health departments, and at that time when they are going to establish their dashboards, definitely at that time we said officially, but all these information are based on the institution and is available. If anybody would like to get the data sets, and a request can be made, and we will try to collect the information and provide the user as well.
Thank you, sir. Sir, there is a question from Dr. Iqbal Shah. What are the procedures to obtain the data for secondary analysis?
So there is no procedures. This is only one simple request what we need, and officially we have a record that this user would like to use, and request for these type of the variables and the data sets. So we only need some simple request, and there is a performer on our website as well for the requesting of data sets, any data sets which is available with us. We will provide within 2-3 days after completing all these approval process of within the bureau. But if data is not available, but user demand is very valid, and definitely we try our best to collect the data information from the concerned stakeholders if the data is available there, and provide the sports in this way as well. Yes, we are also providing a link and sharing with you, and that link provide the actually access to our websites. There is a performer for making a request to the for getting any type of the data sets from the Bureau of Statistics.
Thank you, sir. Sir Maqsood Sadiq has raised his hand, and I am just gonna unmute him.
Yes.
जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम जी। जी सबसे पहले मैं बहुत थैंकफुल हूँ कि साजिद रसूल साहब ने बड़े अच्छे तरीके से यूएस पंजाब के फंक्शन और उसके जो भी स्टैंडर्ड्स के बारे में बताया। कांग्रेचुलेशन जी। चंद गुजारिशात थी। एक तो ये कि अगर मुमकिन हो तो आइंदा मिक्स में आप इस्लामाबाद को शामिल करें। ये ज़ाहिर है कि एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव फैसला होगा, लेकिन ये ज़ाहिर है कि मैंने इसको फ्लोर पर आप गोशगुजार कर दिया। चूंकि इस्लामाबाद के लिए हमें डाटा जो है वो इतना अवेलेबल नहीं होता, पीडीएचएस जो है वो देता है, लेकिन ये कि फिर भी अगर आप आइंदा मिक्स में इसको शामिल करें तो इट विल बी ए ग्रेट एडिशन सर। अच्छा जी। एक दूसरा गुजारिश ये थी कि आपके जो एक्सेल के लिंक्स हैं, एक्सेल फाइल के जो आपके उस पे हैं वेब पेज पे, वो वर्क नहीं कर रहे हैं। मतलब एक्सेल डाटा जब हम उससे फेच करने की कोशिश करते हैं तो वो दे आर नॉट रिलाइव, उसके अंदर कुछ भी नहीं है। काइंडली उसको देख लें। और आखिरी रिक्वेस्ट के जो आपका डीयूएस का है वेब पेज है, बार बार जब आप उसका इंटरफेस चेंज करते हैं तो यूजर आपके इंटरफेस से मतलब फेमिलियर होते हैं और उनको फेमिलियर होने में टाइम लगता है। जब आप बार बार उसका इंटरफेस चेंज कर देते हैं तो जो है वो फिर यूजर्स के लिए थोड़ी डिफिकल्टी होती है। तो ये मैं 3 गुजारिशात थी, तो इनको जरूर ध्यान में रखिएगा। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
मकसूद साहब थैंक यू। पहली जो आपकी गुजारिश है वो तो एक्चुअली बियॉन्ड टू दिस ब्यूरो है। आपको मैं ये इंफॉर्मेशन देता हूँ कि प्रीवियस मिक्स में बाजवा साहब एट दैट टाइम वाज द चीफ स्टैटिस्टिशियन। आई थिंक यू डेफिनेटली हैव द गुड इंफॉर्मेशन। At that time, actually, UNICEF tried that an integrated mix will be conducted throughout the country, and we will be agreed and provide the supports to other provinces as well, in such a way that the reference period should be the same for all the provinces as well, because this is a one hurdle for reporting purpose at the national level, that आपके सारे सर्वे एक लाइन के ऊपर या एक डेट के रेफरेंस के साथ नहीं आते. भाई साहब ने बड़ी ट्राई की थी, लेकिन अनफॉर्चुनेटली एक तो ये है कि डिफरेंट प्रोविंस उनकी अपनी एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन 18 अमेंडमेंट के बाद दे हैव द own decisions at their own level. So the second thing is that at the Islamabad, without the consent of the Islamabad authority and the Pakistan Bureau, it's not easy for us to include independently Islamabad in our next survey. एक अच्छी चीज़ ये है कि इस दफ़ा हम PCL जो है ना पंजाब में हमने मुकम्मल किया. फेडरल वालों ने रिक्वेस्ट की जी हमें करके दें, पाकिस्तान ब्यूरो से कहा, पाकिस्तान ने कहा जी कि पंजाब ने किया, वो उसके पास अच्छी टीम आप उनसे करवा लें. उन्होंने हमें रिक्वेस्ट दी, हमने पंजाब चाहे अपना चेयरमैन साहब से रिक्वेस्ट उसके बेस के ऊपर हमने परमिशन ली और हम इस वक्त कर रहे हैं. और इंशाल्लाह आपको वो इस्लामाबाद का जो है ना चाइल्ड लेबर सर्वे पंजाब कर रहा है और वो इंशाल्लाह करके देगा. लेकिन ये जो है ना ये एक एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव लेवल के ऊपर डिसीजन रिक्वायर्ड है और हम अपने लेवल के ऊपर उस वक्त तक नहीं कर सकते जब तक यूजर इस चीज को नहीं डिमांड करता. एक बेहतर चीज ये है कि आप उधर माशाल्लाह बैठे हैं अच्छे इंस्टीट्यूट में, आप इस तरह का थोड़ा सा एक प्रेशर डेवलप करें और पंजाब उनको कहें, पाकिस्तान ब्यूरो वालों को. एटलीस्ट आई थिंक एट दिस टाइम द नाइम जफर साहब गुड इज अ स्टैटिस्टिशियन है टेक्निकल साइड के ऊपर, वो जल्दी डिसाइड कर सकते हैं. अगर वो कहेंगे और उनकी रिक्वेस्ट के ऊपर हम इधर से प्लान कर सकते हैं और उसको इंक्लूड कर सकते हैं, but the consent from the Pakistan Bureau is a must. The next is the Excel. Definitely अगर आप हमें स्पेसिफाई कर दें तो I will try, लेकिन मैं अब कहूँगा अपने सबको कि जितने भी उसके ऊपर लिंक्स हैं उनको रिव्यू करें और अगर किसी के साथ बाज का डाटा जो है वो नहीं अगर हो रहा है तो डेफिनेटली उसको हम करेक्ट कर देंगे. इंटरफेस वाली बात मखसूस है, एक्चुअली हमने बार बार तो नहीं तब्दील किया. हाँ ये मेरा ख्याल है कोई 5-7 साल बाद तब्दील किया और उसको तब्दील किए भी 3 साल हो गए हैं और अब जल्दी नहीं करेंगे. अब हम एक ऑनलाइन सिस्टम लेके आ रहे हैं जिसमें स्टैटिस्टिक्स को हम डैशबोर्ड के जरिए और इन पब्लिकेशन से हटाएंगे, रियल टाइम के ऊपर डाटा देने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. वो एक अब हमारी एक एफर्ट है. तो उसमें फिर हमारे डैशबोर्ड्स डेवलप होंगे. डैशबोर्ड्स जब डेवलप होंगे तो हो सकता है उस वक्त हमारा को वेब जो पेज है जो इंटरफेस है वो अब उस वक्त चेंज होगा, वो अब उससे पहले चेंज नहीं होगा. तो ये हमारी कुछ इस तरह की रिक्वायरमेंट थी. थैंक यू फॉर शेयरिंग योर कमेंट्स. जी एनी अदर क्वेश्चन?
Yes, sir. So there is a question that how can researchers or students participate in your dataset creation process?
Yes, for data collection process, we always actually promote and support to the social science students, because whenever we have the need to hire the staff, definitely our experts are available. But from for the household survey, we need a number of females as well, because from the households in our society now you have the better information that only access a female has the only access to enter in the household. So we our team comprised on the female enumerators, and we always try to collect from select all these enumerators from the market. And if university would like, and definitely I will share when our requirement further mix will be available, I will post that requirement to the university, particularly PRC centers. So at that time, what the students comes from the FCU, I will promise that I will accommodate. Otherwise, it's our open merit. So anybody enter and anybody come to us, and definitely I will try to promote and support to the social science students as well.
Thank you very much, sir. That's a very generous offer. There are many students who would like to be a part of this process here at SCCU. Do you guess the reason for organizing today's event was to basically know what data sets and information are available at the Punjab Bureau of Statistics. I think before we conclude, there is another question that has been submitted by Hiram Kamran from the Population Council. It's sir, if you have time, can we take one more question? The question is, having such great capacities, to what extent is it possible for Bureau of Statistics Punjab to conduct primary data collection activity on request from any organization for their project?
Yes, we are collecting and providing the supports to all the departments, because a number of these surveys, what I have shared the list, particularly Punjab Child Labour Survey, we conducted on the request of the Labour and Human Resource Department. And just we are in these days, we are also collecting the data information for home-based and domestic worker surveys, was based on the request of the same department. We also conducted the hepatitis prevalence survey on the health department on the request of the health department, and likewise, a number of requests from the other departments, other UN partners received from us, and we only first check that whether we can conduct this survey within the province, and the second thing, we have the time, because without time we never accept any such type of the service. The third one is we got the approval from our competent authority, then we will start and share definitely all other the liabilities and the requirements with the stakeholder as well. So we have the provision, but the condition is that whether we have the time. At this time we are conducting 3 surveys. One is the child labor survey at the Islamabad. Second is the home-based and domestic worker survey in the Punjab for all the 34 districts. The third one, we are starting the planning of the multiple indicator cluster survey. So all these are the things which are very important and to consider any further request. So on the base of, because our number of employees are very low, which is very important that our Sindh Bureau has a large number as than the Punjab. Crowdloading service has a large employees than the Punjab, but we are producing the most statistics than the all other provinces as well as the organizations. So thank you. Any other question?
Thank you very much, sir. Again, I was saying the purpose of this event was to bring the Bureau of Statistics and the information they have closer to and to develop a connection with FC and share this information that is available on the Bureau of Statistics website. We see this as an ongoing relationship, so inshallah we will be collaborating more with Chaudhry Sajid Rasul Sahab, Isaac Sahab, and the Bureau of Statistics Department in the future as well. We are very thankful to you, sir, for the useful information that you've shared with us. I'd like to thank all our guests, faculty members and students at FC, members of the Population Council who have been kind enough to join from Islamabad, and members of the 3 PRCs that exist in that are right now operating in the 4 provinces of Pakistan, Balochistan, Peshawar, and Sindh. With this, I would like to add that Sajid Rasul Saab's slides are available to anyone who would like to have a look at them. This session is being recorded, and a recording of this session will be posted on YouTube as well. If you want to have another look at this session or view some portions of this session. So with this, I'd like to thank everyone, and I'd like to bid you all a very good evening. Thank you, and Allah Hafiz.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for all the participants, and particularly for the PRC of COSAP. Thank you for inviting, and so nice.
Yes,
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.